Hello, this is Aaron Mean of SG Gaming Info, and welcome to my video review of the PlayStation 4 version of Thathamecompany's Journey. Now, the PlayStation 4 version has very much superficial changes to the original 2012 PS3 version. What you're going to notice is two things. The visuals have been increased to 1080p, which is something that PlayStation 4 should be able to do no problem, and the frame rate has been up to 60 frames per second. There is also quite a nice little, present for the PlayStation 3 owners. If you bought the digital version of Journey for the PS3, you will get the digital version of Journey for the PlayStation 4 for free. So if you say when you got the PlayStation 4 and you threw your PS3 away and you want to play Journey again, now you can for no extra cost. So I've talked about the changes. The changes are very small. Like, it's only that up to 1080p, 60 frames per second. So what I'm going to talk about in the review is I'm going to talk about what I feel are the game's pros and cons. What are my personal pros and cons of the game? And I'm going to actually go into my first con, which is one of the one of the biggest issues I have with the game. And it's actually just on screen now. Motion controls. And, well, actually, this motion controls are actually one part of the overall issue I have. And the overall issues I'm going to show you now. I'm going to try to pause the game, if it will let me. There we go, I paused it. Go to the options menu. There is nothing in the options menu. There is chapter selection, and there is the ability to change the camera from its default to inverted Y, to inverted Y and X, and to inverted X. Talking about inverted Y and X, should not really be inverted X and Y, but I don't know. To me, this is an issue because, one, you are not given the option to turn off the motion controls. I would love to be able to turn off the motion controls. During a previous take of this video, I was talking, I was moving around a bit, and as I was moving, because I had my controller in my hand, the camera decided to go pan into walls, do 360 loops around my character as I was trying to walk. I would love to turn that off. Even before I started doing the video review, during when I was doing when I was playing it earlier, I was having this issue. I would because I like to swivel in my chair. If you have a swivel chair, you also probably do the same as well. So I was swiveling, plus my arm movement meant the camera was going crazy. This might just be a personal thing, but the motion controls really did rub me the wrong way. And there is no ability to turn them off. Also, you will notice there's no way to change the volume. I would love to have the ability to change the ambience, change the music. So say if I wanted I wanted to hear the music more over than the ambience, I can't do that, and I feel that's kind of a missed opportunity. Saying this now, that I'm talking about the biggest issue is the lack of options menu. This will also kind of point out how much I actually enjoy this game. That my biggest issue is the lack of options. Because I'm going to start talking about some of the pros I have for this game. And the first pro you will see is trying to get back out of is the screen itself. There is one thing you will notice. That is, there's no clutter. All you have is yourself and the environment around you. There is no tedious mini-map in the top right hand corner. There's no health bar in the top left. There's no maps that you can pull up. There's no nothing. It's just a clean screen with your character, and it makes it feel more cinematic, I suppose, is the word I'd probably use. I know that's a probably considered a horrible word to use when it comes to video games and describing them, but it makes it more immersive, I suppose. Immersive would probably be a better word than cinematic. It brings you into the game more, because sometimes I feel heads-up displays clutter the screen and it takes you out of the experience. MMOs are a big issue behind that as well. If you look up, say, Final Fantasy 14, which is a game I've been playing a lot lately, the heads-up display is cluttered and it feels like a mess. But here in Journey, the lack of HUD makes the game just seem crystal clear. And when I say lack of HUD, how are you going to tell if you're low in health and all that? Well, the game does have a way around it. Basically, I'm just going to unlock it now, you get a scarf, which helps you, basically allows you to fly and glide across the map. And this scarf, when you're damaged, gets smaller. Now, I've never actually died in this game, so I don't know what happens if it completely goes away. It might just impair your ability to glide or fly further distances. So I don't think it's a major detraction, but it's a nice way of showing you health in a very using the environment around you to show your health without throwing in this artificial heads-up display to you. That's enough to talk about the lack of HUD. Let's talk about the story. And this is a great aspect for this game. Is you're not told what the story. You're not outright told what the game's story is. You're left to discover the story yourself, and the story you discover may be different from someone else's story. When I played the game for the first and second time, I came to the conclusion that the story was a kind of a spiritual journey of sorts, where the character that you see you're playing as, unnamed cloaked character, was doing a spiritual journey to the mountain you see in the distance. Its basic journey was its ascension to a higher plane. It's kind of part of a dying race. It wants to probably be with the ones that came before. But I also, when I played through it again and again, and I started going towards these paintings that you'll see in a second, I got a second story from it. One that felt a lot more violent. As you can see in the ground, this glyph is telling you that all those those marks you see are basically tombstones for basically your fallen brethren. And as you go to further ones, I began to notice that it tells a story of a lost civilization. In my mind, it told a story of a civilization who are at the peak of their, existence, where they managed to use these glyphs to power their cities, use cloth as, power sources, as tools for transport even, and how losing this power somehow basically caused their race to go spiraling out of control, lead to a war, maybe a collapse of some kind, and that is why you're basically now in their ruins. I just realised I don't have any jump power, so I can't get that glyph. That glyph you just saw there in front of you is a collectible, and also helps extend your scarf. See, this just brings up the motion controls again. I didn't turn the camera away from the glyph. I accidentally tapped the controller. This accidentally moved it, and it decided to go, the player wants to turn away. So those glyphs are important to you to collect, although some of them are hidden, so you're not always going to get all of them. And see, this is what happens when you lose out all your, say, cloth power, I suppose you can call it. This is what your, 360 degree glyph shockwave does. It helps bring lifeless cloth to life. I don't know if you're actually... There's one thing I haven't really understood. It's like, are you taking cloth that's never been alive in the first place and bringing it alive? Or are you reanimating them? It's up to interpretation, and that's what I like about this game. And I just found that little hidden glyph there. Just, I suppose, not really technically hidden if you looked, but it doesn't take that much effort to find, let's just say. You have to have a brain. And then let's talk about the gameplay. I think we've rambled enough through the story and how it doesn't really have a story per se. Gameplay wise, the game is very easy actually. The idea is nothing really challenges you. It's basically just about getting A to B. All the game is about, as the title itself suggests, is a journey. Gameplay wise, all you're gonna do is basically you can get through a level, collect everything you need, and the motion controls again annoyed me, and go through these fairly easy puzzles. I'm actually going to show, one's going to come up now in a second after this little video goes through, and this is actually one of these videos that kind of made me believe it's a bit of a spiritual journey. Gameplay, as I was saying about the gameplay, there's fairly easy puzzles you do. The one coming up now is you have to complete there's a bridge, you have to get across it, but part of the bridge is broken. So to get across it, what you have to do is you have to find cloth, power the cloth, and the cloth makes part of the bridge, and you have to find 4 pieces of it. Sounds simple, because it is simple. You basically, one piece is right in front of you. I'm going to show it to you now in a minute. You can't, I think, you can't skip these videos, I don't think. So I'm sounding out of breath because, well, take a long time without taking a breath and all effective. So I'm just going, that level you just saw is kind of a tutorial level. I wouldn't really call it a first level per se. So see the camera's moving again because it decides to be a bit of an issue. So here is the broken bridge that's coming up now. And if we'll load up, just give it a second. Here's the broken bridge. You have to get across that. And it's really easy. And this is probably how difficult the puzzles get. They don't get much difficult. If you, I think the accent kind of changed there a bit for no reason. It's about as difficult it gets. The only part that's probably more difficult is when you say, when later on in the game there are enemies that come up, and basically what you do, you just have to hide from them until they go by. Excuse me. And that's about as hard as it gets. So all you really have, gameplay wise, is, oh, you can jump, you can glide, you have simplistic puzzles to solve, and you have to avoid some monsters. And as you can see, it's actually, it's got a brilliant segue there. You saw a kind of light flash in the background there in the corner, and that is the game telling me that a player has joined my game. Now what does that mean? Basically, this game has what was described as seamless co-op. This means anyone playing Journey with an internet connection can join another person's game. Another person can join their game without them realizing it. Let's see if I can find this person. I think he was over here somewhere. There he is there. And you don't know who this other person is. The only way you find out who they are is when you finish the game and the game tells you you traveled on your journey with X, Y, and Z. And as you can, there's also no way to communicate to the person who you run into. Actually, I don't know what he's doing, but he's just going up there. So I think I'll leave him to divide. All you can do to communicate with him is basically do this. Hello, I am talking to you. It's kind of weird to me, but I really do like this because it helps make journey feel bigger. It makes the journey more exciting. And you hear me using the word journey more exciting and all that. It just takes away from, like, it's like, oh, it's just this lonely adventure. You're on a lonely adventure and you just come across someone. And if anyone's ever been on an adventure before, they will know. If you're on your own, you're going through somewhere, you get kind of bored by yourself. But then this person comes along, you become friends with them, and they go on your journey with you. My first playthrough through this game, that actually happens. Like, oh, I'm going through the game, I'm bored out of my mind. What's it? It's like, say if I was in the game, I can't be. I'm bored out of my mind. There's no one to talk to. And this other person came around, and I thought it was quite interesting because when we were reaching the summit of the mountain, we helped each other. Kind of spoiler alert, I suppose. When you get closer and closer to the top, you begin to get cold and you begin to freeze. And we would huddle beside each other. Excuse me again. Beside each other to give us warmth, I suppose, and allow our cloth scarf to charge so we could glide and fly further. It was quite interesting experience, and that's what makes Journey unique. Along with its story is the seamless co-op, because you don't know what's going to happen. You're going to meet this person, and you might go. So you meet this person here in this level, and you might go through the entire game with them. Or you might get to the Sunken City level, and as you're going down the slope with this other person, you take a left, that person takes a right, and you've never seen them again. And you don't know who that person was, who they were, or anything like that, and I find that very interesting. Now, as I'm talking about how I like parts of the gameplay, I felt some were simplistic and some were good, like the seamless co-op. Let's talk about another con I have for the game. It's replay value. If you are a person who likes collecting, if you want to go collect all the glyph symbols, find all the drawings, you will enjoy the game. You'll find replay value in it. If you don't, and you type person goes, okay, I want to go through the store, go to the story and finish the game, you're not really going to get much replay value of it. And that's kind of sad for me, really, because I like the game. Played, I think before this video, I think I've finished it about twice, because I wanted to get all the glyph symbols to unlock the white robe, because I never actually did that on the PlayStation 3 version. And it hurts it. The game's only, I'd say, less than 3 hours long. If you just ran through the game not looking for any of the hidden stuff, hidden glyphs, hidden drawings, you could power through the game in an hour and a half, maybe even less. And I suppose for the price you're paying for the game, the 3 hours experience isn't too bad. If you don't have the PS3 version, which means you're not getting the PS4 version for free, I believe it's only about $15. It might be a bit more, I'm not 100% sure. So it's not a full price game, it's not a 70 euro game kind of thing, which that price really does annoy me. So you're not paying a lot of money. Hello, other person. So for the price you're paying, 1.5 to 3 hour experience, it's worth it. As I said, you might finish it once and you may never pick it up again. Funnily enough, in the trophy section, I was going to call it achievements, I suppose it could be trophies, achievements, there is a game that actually has you put down the game for a week. Don't play it for a week, and when you come back after the week, you get an achievement for it. I kind of find that a bit amusing, and that's the only other con I have with this game. Before I get to the conclusion, I also want to talk about the sound, music, and visuals. Visually, it looks good. I'm the type of person who doesn't really care about visuals. If it looks good, like people complain about, oh, this game's 720p, oh, this game's 900p, this game's 1080p. To me, as long as it's playable, and has a good story, I'm alright with it. I'm not. I want to say the word elite. I don't really want to say the word elitist, but I think that's the only word that comes to my mind when it comes to graphical fidelity. Graphical fidelity. That's a hard word to say. I'm not the one sort of person. It looks nice. It runs smoothly. I haven't seen any jarring frame rate issues. Apparently, like coming to release, when those little tricky pixels were having issues with the ports, with the graphical upgrades. So that's why Santa Monica Studios got involved. But also, there's an interesting one to point out: tricky pixels when they're doing the logos and stars, like they show Santa Monica Studio, showed up that game company's logo. Never showed a tricky pixel logo, which I don't know. It caught me off guard there for a bit. It's like, did they change developer or something like that? I'm going off topic now, I believe. I was talking about the sound, music, and visuals. Sorry if I sound very sped up. When I get hyper, I speed up a bit. So visually, it's nice. It's 1080p, so if you like good full HD, you will enjoy it. Frame rate wise, it's stable. Now people say you can see the difference between 30 and 60 and all that. Unfortunately, at the moment, I actually don't have my glasses on. But if I was to... Again, sorry for the cough. I have a bit of a cough at the moment, I don't know why. If I was to look at it right now, I would say it's running at 60. Just from my eyes, I don't see any... There's no screen tearing or anything like that, which is very good to see. I hate screen tearing with a passion. It really just destroys the game for me. Now let's talk about the sound. Sound wise, I love this game. Sound helps you. Sound is an important immersion tool. If you don't have the right sound, right music, right ambience, right sound effects, right music or anything like that, the game is going to not be as appealing to me. The ambience is really good. It's kind of like, I know you just kind of heard that there with the kind of creature. They're making those sounds. I thought it was kind of cute and nice. The little music you hear in the background is also very good as well. At the top of my, I can't really remember the name of the composer out of my head. So as you hear a mouse going, that's just me trying to find a composer. Sorry, Austin Ventori is the composer's name. He's, I think, done composing for all of Thathamecompany's games. I may be wrong though. Don't quote me on that. And he has a really good experience. He creates a really good immersive experience with the music. Like the instrumentals just work into the game. They don't feel out of place. They don't feel jarring. They just feel like they should exist. Same with the ambience. Like even the same with the noise you make with the glyphs. It's like it feels so natural. It feels like it works in this world. Nothing feels out of place with the sound. And I love that. Now, that's the last of the pros and cons I have with the game. So, let's do a quick summary, shall we? I believe more my overall pros and cons, shall we? So, in the pros section we have, the story is up to the player's imagination in many ways. You can have various interpretations. I had about 2 interpretations of the story from playing it from 2 perspectives. There's no heads-up display, so no HUD, nothing to get in your way, nothing to ruin your immersion, which I love. And there's the seamless co-op, where you could be running through a desert, anything like that, and you can basically stumble upon another player. I actually don't know where that other player's gone. See, how's it going? That's how it goes. That person I was with earlier was when we ran off another direction, and I have no idea where he is. But I think it kind of popped up there for a second, which is, I like that. It's like how co-op kind of should be done. Although, I don't think you can really do seamless co-op on any other game apart from this. It's kind of sad in a way. Now, what were the cons? Options menu is really non-existent. All you have is chapter selection and changing the camera from default to various inverted modes. You can turn off the annoying kind of motion controls that built into the PS4 controller. And last of the cons is little replay value. Okay, it's about $15-16 game. It's 1.5 to 3 hours, but that's still not a lot of replay value, especially it's quite a linear game. I suppose the game is. It doesn't look linear because you have this big expanse, but in truth be told, it is rather linear. And the only thing you can do outside when you complete the story is look for drawings and glyphs to collect. And they mostly just give you trophies. I think if you collect all the glyphs, you do get a white robe, and that's the only major change they offer. So going through those pros and cons, what do I think of the game as a whole? What's my summary, my conclusion, as it were? Well, look at you, I actually have it written up. I'm not doing it off the top of my head this time. This is what I came up, and this is actually my conclusion in my written review that will be linked in the description below. Journey proves that games don't need to be complicated to be great. Let me rephrase that. Journey proves that games don't need to be complicated to be great. Its minimalistic design allows players to engross themselves in a story. Engross themselves in a story that will make their imagination run wild. That's what I love about it. It feels so minimalistic, yet it just feels it brings you in, and not many games do that. So that's why, out of a score of 10, my score for the PS4 version of Journey is a whopping 9 out of 10. It had to be potentially be a 10 out of 10 if the options were gone. Sorry, if the options were there, yeah, because if the options were gone, then sorry about that noise there. I accidentally hit the microphone. If they had a decent options menu with the ability to turn off motion controls, tweak the volume so you can have the ambience so be more predominant than the music, it could have been a 10 out of 10, but it's not. So as I can say, this is the end of the review of my review of the PlayStation 4 version of Journey. If you like this video, please like the video and favorite. If you like my work, if you like this video and want to see more of my work, subscribe to sggaminginfo.com.